This is me, and this is my sister, Jenny. My overall memory is a positive one. I do think it was the right thing that Jenny and I went into care. I wonder what the memories of the other kids were like who were there and where they are now. There's just bits of my history that I feel now ready to explore.
At the age of 4, Rachel Roberts was taken into care. Now, after 30 years, she has decided to track down the other children who lived with her in the home. Her hope is to reunite them so she can answer questions about her own past and find out how others from her generation were affected by life in care.
Why I got give away and what it's something to do with us and couldn't they cope with the way we was.
Oh, my brother's dead now, God bless him. He's been dead since he was 18.
Sometimes you just need
somebody
just one little light can inspire you almost for the rest of your life.
Whether fostered, returned to their families, or kept in care until adulthood, this is the story of fragile children whose futures were shaped by the dramatic events of their childhood. "38-year-old Rachel is a freelance journalist living on her own in Brighton. She has only very hazy memories of her 15 months in care. The one memento from that time is a single photograph. It captures Rachel, her sister Jenny, and some of those who lived with them in a Doncaster children's home. Rachel's memories of care are surprisingly positive.
I feel like we were lucky in that we had, because we were the babies of the home, we were treated with a lot of love.
By tracking down the other people from the home, Rachel will find out if her happy memories and thriving career are the exception to the rule for those in care.
My mum had us when she was very young. When she had my sister, she left us in the hospital because she just couldn't deal with it. I've never had any sort of hatred towards my mum for doing that because I think a very young woman and she couldn't cope with it. My father tried to look after us and really struggled. That's how we came to be in Doncaster Social Services care.
Rachel's father died 20 years ago, and she's had no contact with her mother since being placed in care.
At the moment, who's the most important person that you want to find?
Well, that woman isn't in this picture. Tina was the matron of the home, and my first memory of a mother, a maternal figure, and she was just amazing. I have really beautiful memories of this woman. I have so much to thank her for because when we were in the home, my sister and I were very little and very vulnerable. I just remember feeling really loved and cared for, and it'd just be incredible to meet her and to thank her for those early happy memories that I've got.
Rachel has no idea whether the other children's memories of Tina will match her own, but she'll need help in finding the former residents. Social worker Ariel Bruce specialises in tracing people, but has some words of warning about embarking on this search.
In finding people and opening that story up, there are risks attached for them. If we were successful in finding any of these children in this photograph, for them being found can also be, it may be exciting and it may be a joy, but it may also be really very painful. I mean, it may evoke a period that was difficult for them. I mean, to give an example, 1/4 of all rough sleepers are ex-care. 1/4 of people in prison are ex-care. Only 7% of people who have been in care go on to further education. Some of these children may have been in care for a lifetime, with all of the implicit dangers and outcomes of that.
You know, is it common for you to find somebody
who's been in care and them to say, do you know what, I really don't want to go back there, or...
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I think it's possible.
In her search for the other children, Rachel needs to return to the beginning of her own story in care.
Good morning, Doncaster Council.
Oh, hello. Is that Doncaster Social Services?
I can pass you through. Is it for adults or children that you want to?
Well, children.
Hello, Adult Children Social Work Service Reception.
Oh, hello. I wonder if you can help me. I was in a children's home with through Doncaster Social Services. I think it was on Ascot Avenue. Is there a file? I'm on my way to Doncaster to go to social services. You can't not go and see that file.
The case files will not only explain why Rachel was taken into care, but reveal some secrets about her family.
I don't know what I'm going to find out, and that is quite a scary thing. My foster parents over the years, if we asked things, they would tell us the stories that have been told over the years. If there was anything hugely different to that could really throw me.
All children in care have their own case file documenting every detail of their life in the care system. Rachel has never seen her file before.
I didn't expect it. It's really upsetting. My dad being in prison. Just get this feeling about him through this whole file of... He was a bit of a one and he had a bit of a history, but he was devastated when he lost us. I really don't feel he didn't love us. There were other children. I never knew that. Oh my goodness, right, half-brothers. Oh God, so these are half-brothers. Michael, Barry, Christopher, Bryce, Stephen and Neil. I wonder how many kids my dad had. That's my dad's signature. Right, do you know what? I really feel I've taken in as much as I can right now, and I just really want to see my dad's signature on that. I don't feel I can take any more at the minute. I feel like I need to go away and process some of this. It was still quite surprising to see that in the file. 4 or 5 stepbrothers out there. It's not triggered an urge of, oh, I want to go and find them. It's like, let sleeping dogs lie, really, there. This is, you know, that's how I feel about that. There's no natural pull now to go and find those people.
But Rachel's quest to track down the children from the home will soon uncover more shocking revelations about her own past. Rachel Roberts is trying to find and reunite the people who lived in the same children's home as her in the 1970s. She spent 15 months in care before being fostered and moving to Scotland. Back at her office in Brighton, Rachel is sharing her childhood memories with her colleagues.
You can tell that's you.
I think
It's like that. Let me see.
Do you remember anything about this day?
No.
Really? Do you remember this picture being taken?
No. I think these two might be, well, these two actually might be Bradley and Dean. You know, the brother, I think I mentioned that to you before, the brothers who, my foster parents, was a fight over whether they were going to take the boys or the girls. Did you not know that?
Yeah. What happened to the two brothers that didn't get picked by your foster parents?
Well, I don't know. Try and find out, hopefully.
It emerges the brothers who rivaled Rachel and her sister for foster care are still living in the Doncaster area. It's the first major breakthrough of her search.
Got butterflies in my tummy about it because, you know, Bradley and Dee were in the home with us. It'd be really exciting in a way to meet them. I'm also a bit nervous because I don't know where their lives have taken them. Hello.
Hello.
Are you two in there? Not, are you? No.
After 3 years in the children's home, Bradley and Dean were moved to another home. The decisions made by social services have left the brothers struggling to make sense of their lives ever since.
So after the home, what happened? Where did you go next?
Well, no, we got split up by social services when I was 11.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until Dean turned 16 and myself turned 16 that we started getting in touch with each other again. Wasn't it? I mean, I think I saw you twice in that 4-year period.
I think that was the worst part of it all, because we weren't kept together.
Yeah.
Whereas we'd always been together through the very beginning. This is why I've sort of like not got many memories, because I choose not to have them. For me, everything good about my childhood revolves around Dean. You know what I mean? All my memories. You know what I mean? Everything else is nondescript.
Are you two married? You've got girlfriends, kids? What about you?
I've got a son.
Okay.
Josh.
Josh. Are you with the mother?
No. You try everything. You know what I mean? Because you don't really know what a family unit is because you haven't had one yourself.
It was just the whole relationship, family thing. It was all a struggle for me. I did try. Well, we both tried. But in the end, it just weren't working.
How long were you married for?
18 years. I've got 2 kids, one at 14, one at 10. Now I should at least tried a bit harder and stayed there until, you know, my youngest was 16. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be brought up with a family, but you can't always get what you want, can you?
No. What do you remember about the home?
No, I don't really remember too much. So I was very young, you know what I mean? I would have been 4 or 5.
4 or 5. See, you don't have any memories of it?
I remember playing in the park across the road at the Campley Park.
Yeah.
I remember the cemetery behind, obviously. What was the name of that kid that had all his Airfix models? Brian. One of the kids in there, he had loads of Airfix models on his bedroom ceiling. He was just intimidating.
He was the boss. I just thought he were a bossy person, that's all. He was just being a twat.
What about, would you be interested in meeting Tina again?
I would, yeah. Tina and Dennis.
Yeah? The feeling I'm feeling now, it feels like I found a family, in a weird way. It's kind of a belonging, I suppose. And, yeah, other people, do you know what it is? It's like other people of my kind. That's what I'm feeling.
Rachel's plans for a reunion are looking up, but she has no idea whether the matron of the children's home is living in Doncaster, or even if she's still alive. She's hoping old electoral records will at least lead her to an address.
Well, I was there in 75.
There's a Christine and a Dennis.
Well, that'll be that, because
Thompson,
Tina would
Tina
have
would have
been
been Christine.
right?
Now, actually, it's quite interesting because it's right next to a pub, the Beecher's Brook.
She exists.
With this promising news, Rachel goes to meet 2 teachers from her old school to see what they can remember of Tina.
Tina Thompson had a marvellous reputation. you know, the expression, little mother hen.
Yeah.
She was like that, and I can remember seeing her walk down the road here, you know, into school with the children around her.
I can't remember Mr. Thompson's first name.
Dennis.
Dennis.
Dennis, yeah, Dennis.
But he was of the same calibre. They were a well-matched pair.
She was always Auntie Tina. Spoken of, you know, lovingly sort of thing. That's the way I recollect it.
The infant staff later on put her forward for a Mother of the Year competition, and that was a national event.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And I know that she got a long way in that.
There is some good news for Rachel. Ariel Bruce has found another person from the photograph.
I have got some news for you.
Yeah. This is Michael, yeah.
Yes. Michael still lives in Doncaster. It's quite clear that he has very mixed up memories of his upbringing. I think he's had quite a difficult time of it.
Michael spent the first 10 years of his life in and out of children's homes. After leaving Tina's care, he returned to his family. But at the age of 14, he ran away, lived on the streets, and finally ended up in prison.
I've never been settled anywhere, you know. It's a bit unfair, you know. Never been able to settle anywhere, you know. And when I do have relationships and when I do get settled, it doesn't last long, you know. I'm always thinking of time to move on, time to change the scenery, you know. It's hard to get comfortable with someone.
Michael was taken into care at 18 months old and lived at the children's home with his brother Stephen and his sister Tracy.
But I can't remember much. I can remember going to Butlins and that.
Yeah, I remember homes, don't you? You remember them?
Do you? All of them?
Yeah.
I don't. I got up to, well, mine must be 10.
You've done a few, haven't you?
10.
The bike rides, the walks, the holidays, caravan camping trips, innit? Yeah,
you baking?
Plenty of good times.
Bake it? Did you used to bake?
Well, I used to sample. I was always a sampler. They're always there for you. Always kept you busy. It was a lovely routine. Playing and, like I say, bike riding and that. It was wonderful. It was like a little English version of the Waltons. You know, there was plenty of love. It was brilliant.
Like Michael, most of the children from the home still live in the Doncaster area. It's a chance for Rachel to see her care home for the first time since she was fostered over 30 years ago.
People would come to take us out for the day, and it was like a trial run. You kind of wised up to that. I remember telling Jenny not to cry. We had to be good little girls because we'd get parents.
The house is no longer a children's home, but is still owned by the local authority.
So I can't remember where my bedroom was. We were all here together. I feel the other children now really strongly in here. I don't remember that pub. The Betches Brook. Hello. Is the landlord here, please?
The landlord knows that Rachel might be coming in today and has some unexpected news for her.
Is this your local? Yeah. I used to live in that children's home. There used to be a children's home opposite. Can I have a...
What would you like?
I'd like a pint of lager and lime, please. How long have you run the pub for?
2 years.
2 years. So how do you know about the home? Because it closed down.
No, because I lived there.
You lived in the home?
Yeah.
When?
15, 16 years.
That wouldn't be, well, it wasn't when I was there then, was it?
You wouldn't have a sister called Jennifer, would you?
Were you in the home with me? My sister?
For maybe a week.
Can we sit down and have a chat?
Yeah, of course you can.
So are you in this picture? You're not in the picture, are you?
No, not on that one, no.
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 So how old were you when you went in?
About 4 years old.
Which is kind of the age I was, actually.
Yeah, when you come.
Yeah. How do you know this information?
Because I'm your half brother.
Do you know, you looked a bit familiar when I walked in. Really?
In searching for the people from her old children's home, Rachel Roberts is uncovering her own family secrets. Stefan, landlord of the neighbouring pub, is a half-brother she never knew she had. And he has further revelations about their late father.
It was a rough... He was a rough family. There was a chance here. I hate the man. He killed my mother. Simple as that. While she was dying of cancer, he run off with babysitter.
Is that my mum?
I hate him. Got a new family.
Right, okay. And we were the new family.
You were the new family.
Yeah.
He come to visit you and Jennifer.
Not you.
Well, not me.
Yeah.
And he knows I'm in the same children's home. And then within 5, 6 days, I am shipped out because I'm not allowed to let you know
That must have been hard.
who I am. He left me, he left the family. Even when he comes to the children's home to visit you and Jennifer, he didn't come to see me, knowing full well I was there. I hate him.
So I did not expect that at all. Somebody has information about you or your beginnings or that you just don't know about. It's just totally and utterly broadsided. I just...
With her own story becoming ever more complicated, Rachel returns to the official files to find out what really happened to her parents' relationship.
You both sound like children. And my mum certainly was too young. There was a 22-year age gap between my parents. Then the couple had been living together for approximately 5 years, and as their ages are considerably different, their relationship was assumed to have begun while Susan was still a minor. Oh my goodness. The crisis in 1973 came about after my father left home for a week following a domestic dispute, and on returning, discovered Susan with a coloured sailor at their home. She did not return to the family home but married a seaman of Indonesian nationality. I've never had any resentment towards her. It was always, she was young, I knew that much, and it was never ever, it was always hinted at, the age thing, but never, oh actually she was a minor, but I always thought there was some dark secret there that we weren't being told about, so that absolutely makes sense. But what's surprising is, well, I didn't know the extra bit, why she'd actually left. She'd met somebody else. And that, you know, instantly, my feeling, I've made a real judgment of her as a woman of, and I don't know, I mean, nothing's that simple or black and white, but then my initial reaction is, you abandoned your children to start a relationship with another man.
But another child from the photo is proof that you can successfully create a new family, despite the many disruptions of life in children's homes. 44-year-old Caroline spent large swathes of her childhood within the care system.
My goodness, that's me. Oh, oh, I hated that hairdo.
If you could go back in time to that girl there, is there anything you'd tell her or say?
Oh, yeah.
What would you tell her?
Tell her not to be so really stupid. You see, I can look back now and think, God, I did so many mistakes. I mean, I got expelled from school.
What did you do to get expelled from school?
To teach. So I became a little bit of a tearaway, and I wasn't the best pupil of one of Tina's, but I did like Tina. A few times I've thought about going back to Doncaster and trying to find Tina.
And do you remember this little boy?
This is Michael. I remember him. He's in this one as this other photo here. He was fine and shared room with Brian, which if I remember rightly, he didn't quite like.
Did Brian have aeroplanes on the ceiling?
Yes. He used to keep himself to himself and he didn't like me.
Caroline has been married 14 years and has a daughter, Melissa May.
I hate my mother more now than I did before because I can't understand why she's left us, why she's done that. I know everybody's different and everybody treats their children different, and I just don't. I'm strict, but I have that mother's bond, and I don't know how another mother can not have it. Maybe it's because I was in care and I wanted it more. I don't know, but what I've got with Melissa is a million times better than whatever I had.
It was nice meeting another woman in care as well, and I loved when she talked about the fact that she'd not been able to hold a relationship down, and now she's got a marriage and a child, and it just shows to me that it can be done. You know, I think if you want something badly enough, you can make it happen.
The other children's experiences are making Rachel think about her own family. She wants to share the recent discoveries about her parents with her blood brother, Bryce.
So Dad had that family, obviously first, to a woman called Margaret. And then do you want me to talk about this in front of the kids?
Yeah, why not?
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's only our life, isn't it? What's happened?
All right, well, okay. Dad ran off with a babysitter called Susan, and she's our mum.
How old was she? Was she 15 or something?
Yeah, she was a minor.
Well, my foster parents said that in front of everybody in the pub about my dad. Yeah.
So Dad tried to look after us for 7 months and he couldn't, and he had 2 nervous breakdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was his own fault anyway, wasn't it? Really, in a way.
Do you think that?
Well, yeah. You can't run off with a 15-year-old and surely think you're going to start a family like that and everything's going to be all right. Yeah, I've moved on. I've moved on from it all. Not bothered anymore. I've got my own family. What's happened's happened. Things happen for a reason. It wasn't my fault and stuff, you know. Because I blame myself sometimes, I suppose, as well about things, you know what I mean? But as you get older, you realise, well, just why and what it was, why I got give away and what it's something to do with us, and couldn't they cope with the way we were as children, screaming kids and stuff like that. No, we don't know, do you?
But that's
you don't know
bullshit. But that is
no, you don't know these things until you get older.
That's bullshit.
It ain't bullshit.
It is total bullshit.
It ain't. And what I'm saying, children can be awkward sometimes and it can be hard for any mother, you know what I mean? So I have thought them things, obviously. But now I know it wasn't my fault, things weren't right. We should have been kept together as a family. But that's how it went, innit? I'm just glad you didn't go where I went.
The thing that I get angriest about is that we were split up and that Jenny and me were put in a home and we were split up as a family.
Rachel's research has turned up a big career success story from the home.
Hi, Florence.
Florence is back in England from Amsterdam, where she lives and works as a senior merchandiser for a global brand.
What a lovely house.
For Florence, the biggest problem was leaving the children's home to return to her family.
I loved my time in that children's home, I really did. If anything, I probably felt a little bit resentful afterwards because I didn't want to leave. It was my home.
So you were there you went in when you were 5?
Yeah, and I left when I was 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, but you kept going back?
Yeah, because I loved Tina. I thought she was, I had one stage of my life where I was well prepared, and that was the children's home. Yeah, I always used to look back at that children's home, and I remember even when I was sort of in my teenage years and say, that was right. I left Doncaster when I was about 17 or 18 and went to live in Leeds and had quite some turbulent times, and then I went to Manchester, and then I got married and I had my own daughter. As an adult, I started to think, oh gosh, it would be really nice. When my friends would be upset and they're going to their mum, it would be like, it'd be really nice to have somebody to go back to.
Yeah.
I felt I was missing something. I always felt something was missing. And I remember thinking, and I have thought this as an adult, you know, sometimes you just need somebody just one little light can inspire you almost for the rest of your life and can inspire how you are also with other with other people.
So what do you think you want to meet Tina?
Definitely want to meet her. I'd love to see her. So there's one thing I want to say to her, thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
No matter what your circumstances, children should be loved, and I'm just seeing the effect it's had on people that didn't have that start in life. Tina, I feel, holds the key to lots of things.
Rachel has found an address for Tina, but on Ariel's advice is making first contact by letter.
Dear Tina and Dennis, I know this may come as a bit of a surprise, but I'm writing to you to see if you remember me from my time in Ascot Avenue. I'm trying to find the other children who were in the home with me, and I would love to meet you both, if you would be open to that. Please respond to the address above if you'd like to meet me too.
Rachel has had a reply from Tina, the woman who looked after her when she was in the children's home. After more than 30 years, they're finally going to meet again.
I'm a bit nervous. It is about deeper issues. It wasn't just about wanting to meet the other kids in the home. Totally about my mother, totally about my father, about abandonment, rejection, all of those issues, I mean, I've always been there. This has made it go like this. Oh, right, that's what's really going on. I wanted to like me as well. I wanted to like the person I've turned into. I do want to thank her. Do you remember me? Hello. Hello. Tina.
Yeah.
Hello. I just remember it just being a lot. I just remember it being a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's all I'd ever done from being little was look after other people's children. I just loved it. Well, shall we tell you the truth? When I first met Dennis, his first words is, "I don't think I want children." I said, well, I think I best tell you now that I work at a children's home. And after that, he stepped in and they never looked back. When we were first courting, we had your Morris Minor and you took us all to the seaside and they were all knelt up in back of that Morris Minor, weren't they?
Yeah.
3 sat on back and 4 in boot.
They'd never seen the sea before.
No, it was great. Have you not seen your little photo?
No. How old?
5, 6. With the teddy bear. This is the look.
What do you remember about me and Jenny? What we were like as little girls?
Oh, you two.
Very early in the morning and waking us up.
Really?
Yeah.
Talking about what? Rubbish?
Yeah.
I mean, did you love the kids?
was-
Did you get attached to the kids?
Yeah, we've had many a tear, didn't we? It were awful when they used to go. Well, I mean, Dean
Well,
for
getting
you.
them as a
It were
baby.
Dean for you more than anything that were heartbreaking because he followed him all over, Dean. Dean and Bradley moved out because they were trying to make room for a family of 4 to come. And the social worker were really upset because Dean just followed Dennis all over. It was sad. But then we got a family, the Clark family.
Is this them?
Robert.
Is this them?
Yeah, they came up to Scotland.
Is that them?
Yeah, Robert,
David.
Yeah. And we kept these for 4 or 5 years, didn't we?
Yeah.
Until, like, Robert was 16. And then again, with social services, money got short. They decided that these 4, if they rehoused the mum and dad,
right,
that they could go home. So they did. Can't really say about parents because it depends on the case, doesn't it? You know, whether... If they're willing to work with social services, but a lot of them parents
are not.
Are not.
Yeah.
Full stop. But I really do feel to keep sisters and brothers together. Because you had to be careful. Because no matter what the parents had done to them, it was their blood. And you had to be nice to the parents.
That must have been
You know,
hard.
I mean, they'd come in, they'd been cruelly treated, but you would make the mother a cup of tea. You just think, I don't really want to do this, but the kids thought the world of the parents, no matter what they've done to them. And then with one instance, I remember one giving the parents the school photo and then going out a bit later to the bus stop and the photo were torn up in the bus shelter because they didn't want anything from you because they were jealous that we were doing their job.
Looking at those photographs, all those questions and thoughts I've wanted answered for so long, I feel a lot of them have been today. She was just such a warm, lovely woman, and what I remembered about her, just clearly has loved her life, loves kids.
How does it make you feel now about your real mum?
I actually feel a bit sorry for her, because When I've been in and I look at those pictures and there was a lot of fun times in that home and family, and I just think you missed out. You haven't got those memories of ours. Tina has.
And how does it make you feel about her?
Like she's irrelevant.
Tina and Dennis are still in touch with Robert, one of the 4 Clark children they looked after for 6 years. 4 years after leaving care, his brother David committed suicide. Robert is still coming to terms with the tragedy.
Well, my brother's dead now, God bless him. He's been dead since he was 18. Part of my life's missing because he's not here no more. My mum's got pictures of him. She's had him blown up. And I do think he's buried with my dad. I pumped him out, pumped his stomach out. I don't think he's out strong enough. Gone. We'll never know. My mum's been down. Both buried together, both laid on top of one another. Yeah, I come down when I feel like it. Have 10 minutes on my own and have a talk to him and that. Can you remember somebody called Brian?
Did he have airplanes on the ceiling?
I think it was him. I know he had a confrontation with Dennis. I can remember it, and I think he ended up going.
Some of the other kids remember Brian. He was a bit of a, well, allegedly, a bit of a bully.
Yeah, he was. To be honest, I think that's something what you don't want. You know what I mean? When you get took into care, you expect to be looked after, you know what I mean?
Rachel has finally tracked down the one person most remembered by the other children from the home.
Hello.
Hello, Rachel.
Yeah, Brian.
Nice to meet you.
You too. Thanks. How are you?
For me, it was a different children's home to what I'd used to being in, because I was used to being in big children's homes, 30 and 40 children. If you stepped out of line, you would get the slipper, you would get the cane. But I think that's stood me in good stead over the years, that discipline.
Brian has spent more time in care than any of the other children, but he has chosen not to let this experience dominate his life now.
I was put into care at 10 days old, and that's it, I stayed there. I've no idea why I was never fostered or adopted or anything like that, absolutely none. So I've spent my life in children's homes. I'm a product of children's homes. I think I've turned out all right anyway.
Did you have any brothers or sisters? Were you on your own? Did you have any brothers
No, I
or
was
sisters?
on my own. No, I was definitely on my own.
That was it? You were an only child?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Do you know anything at all about your birth mum and dad?
No. As I look at it, I've never, what you never had, you never miss, so for whatever reason, I was put into care as a baby. I don't know, but no, it's never really interested me at all.
And so you got 2 sons?
Yes.
Yeah.
Robert and David.
How old are they?
David's soon to be 20.
Yeah.
And Robert's soon to be 21. I got married. It didn't work out. I got divorced. I put in for custody of me, Robert and David, when David was 1 and Robert was 2. I put in for custody of them. I got custody of them. I gave up my full-time job. I became a single parent.
Right, okay.
And I brought them up on my own.
Wow.
So Robert, my eldest, he's in the army. He's just come back from Afghanistan.
Wow.
6 months ago.
Now, I've got to ask you a question. Some of the people along the way that I've met remember you and say that, did you collect or make Airfix airplanes?
Oh, yeah. Airfix. I I was a member of the Airfix Modelling Club in the 70s.
Right.
There's
There's no pictures of that?
No, I had them hanging in my bedroom on bits of cotton from the ceiling, Second World War aeroplanes, and yeah, I love doing them.
See, and you don't remember Bradley and Dean, two little brothers. They were there. They remember you.
If you had some photos, I mean, like I say, there's that little lad there, and that little lad there. So them two were brothers.
That's Bradley. That's Dean.
Yeah.
I've met them. They said that there was an older boy in the home with airplanes that used to bully them.
God, I hope I didn't.
You don't remember?
No, I don't remember, but...
I'm sorry, I don't want to...
Well, I mean, no, I'm glad you told me that, but if I ever meet these, I'll go up to them and I'll shake their hands and I'll say, I'm sorry if I were a pain in the arse and I made your life a misery.
Well, you might be able to get to say that.
Well, I will
do.
do.
To the reunion.
Yeah. Well, I just remember it as a good home.
Hello, how are you? Are you alright?
It's the day of the reunion, the culmination of Rachel's search. It's also a chance for all of them to thank the couple who spent a lifetime providing exceptional love and care within a much maligned system.
Steve, hi.
Yeah, do you remember Florence?
Straight away, as soon as I seen her out there, straight away.
Hello. Tina. Hello, you alright?
Thanks, are you?
Yeah.
Hello,
It's important that those first years of your life, it's important because it reflects, how you behave and that, rest of your life. So it is important that you get that kind of love and stuff.
And you kept us
beans
busy.
And sausages and made it on
You
the
know,
fire.
and
all
it worked.
afternoon he kept putting
Worked
his
all the
Wellingtons
time.
into the fire,
Yeah, I know.
melting his Wellingtons.
And I miss it.
And I kept saying, you can stop it, but he wouldn't.
Just wanted to say thank you.
Oh, you're
yeah,
welcome.
I really did.
You know that. We went through thick and thin, didn't we,
I
lass?
know. But
But it
yeah,
don't matter.
it's
You've done really, really well.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's a children's home.
Come on, my goodness me. Wouldn't have recognised you.
Dean's brother Bradley couldn't make the reunion because of his work commitments.
Good old Bradley.
He's a chef.
Yeah.
Head chef.
Where at?
He's at Hatfield Chase.
Is he?
What's that?
Bradley's head chef at Hatfield Chase.
Yeah.
Have I missed the slide?
No, you've just come in time for it. You've timed it wrong if you didn't want to see slides.
Brian, I was really actually quite sad that he didn't turn up. I understand probably why he didn't. It was maybe just a bit too much for him. There's been a couple of times that I felt like a bit of an imposter because I feel like I do feel I had it easier. I know.